In 2003, a German-led expedition discovered the ancient city of Uruk in Iraq, which is believed to be the tomb of King Gilgamesh. The researchers used cutting-edge equipment to scan the soil and produce a magnetogram that virtually showed the ancient city's architectural layout. In the ancient Euphrates River region, archaeologists came across the ruins of a structure that matched the description of Gilgamesh's tomb in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and may be construed as a tomb. Though it closely matched the epic's description, Georg Fassbinder of the Bavarian Department of Historical Monuments in Munich was unable to conclusively say that the tomb belonged to the ancient king. Known as a fabled giant who stood over 5 meters tall, Gilgamesh is from the Sumerian-Akkadian culture. He can now be acknowledged as a real historical figure, specifically as the 5th king of the first dynasty of the city of Uruk in Sumer, thanks to translations of various texts that have been published in recent years. Gilgamesh was probably elevated to godhood after he passed away. An email with the subject line "Request for documents relating to the Gilgamesh resurrection chamber, the location of his body, and that of the buried Nephilim. Department of State FOIA Log 2018 is posted on the Freedom of Information Act section of the U.S. State Department website. Why a communication relating to the resurrection of Gilgamesh and the location of the buried Nephilim is included in the State Department correspondence is unknown. What transpires after it is learned about the alleged finding of the ancient tomb? This video contains the answers to this and other queries. The ancient city of Uruk's discovery has revealed new information regarding the historical setting for the famous Sumerian king's death and burial. The 5th king of Uruk, Gilgamesh, is one of the most renowned characters in prehistoric Mesopotamian mythology. He is regarded as a god, king, or demigod in many of the tales and epics in which he appears. Also thought to have served as a judge of the dead in the underworld in the afterlife, Gilgamesh is known for his heroic deeds. The ruler of animals is another name for him. His tale and mythology have been passed down through the ages and have been the topic of numerous literary works and archaeological finds. He is said to have been interred under the Euphrates River in a tomb that was constructed when the river's waters split after his passing in the Epic of Gilgamesh, a collection of clay tablets with inscribed writing. One of the earliest literary works still in existence is the Epic, an epic poem from Mesopotamia. The records and plates date to 2100 BC. A German team identified the tomb's site by identifying variations in the soil. In order to generate a detailed map of the area, they digitally mapped the magnetogram they had created earlier. With the aid of this technology, they were able to survey an area larger than 100 hectares, and to their great surprise, they found buildings like homes, gardens, and fields that the Epic of Gilgamesh had already precisely detailed. They also found a sophisticated network of canals that gave the city the appearance of a water oasis in a desert, indicating a highly evolved society. We found in an area just outside the city, in the bed of the former Euphrates River, the remains of a building that can be interpreted as a funerary, said Mr. Fassbinder at the time. At this stage, I still don't want to say for sure that this is the tomb of King Gilgamesh, but the resemblance is striking to what is described in the epic. In truth, the death of Gilgamesh, a Sumerian work, provides a pretty accurate account of Gilgamesh's final days. Even though the Epic of Gilgamesh contains this concept, current translations frequently omit it. The poem describes the great king of the city of Uruk's demise and burial. Gilgamesh was revered in Sumerian mythology as the real ruler. He is thought to have been born of the mortal Lugalbanda and the heavenly Ninsun. The story of the death of Gilgamesh opens with the protagonist, who is terminally ill, laying in bed. His future is revealed in his dream. He has lived on Earth for the allotted amount of time and will rule the underworld. The book then describes Gilgamesh's burial, which might allude to the tombs after he passes away. Included in this are his loving wife, his adored son, and his younger wife, as well as his preferred singer, butler, and barber. Likewise, when they lay down in the same position as him, like in the immaculate palace of Uruk, his chosen subjects and palace servants. The presents for the gathering were weighed by Ereshkigal and Gilgamesh, son of Ninsun. The text goes on to give similarly succinct accounts of the offerings made to roughly 20 deities and other categories of priesthood officials, all of whom are now deceased. Undoubtedly, archaeologists at the time were persuaded that this groundbreaking find would reveal long-forgotten truths and drastically alter our perception of history. But someone else had different ideas. The United States started its invasion of Iraq just a few weeks after Gilgamesh's tomb was found. This compelled Fassbinder and his committed crew to swiftly give up their research and leave the nation, shrouding the intriguing secrets of their discovery in mystery. No one after that came close to making this discovery. It's not generally known to have, at the very least. The Euphrates River's gradual drying up has made way for an increasing number of historical revelations. Unfortunately, most of them wind themselves in a combat zone, either by coincidence or possibly not. This is specifically the situation with one of the supposed sites of the Garden of Eden that we have already mentioned. Officially, it appears that nobody investigates these remnants of our long-forgotten past. It turns out, though, that this is not exactly the case. A screenshot of a State Department email asking for documents about the Gilgamesh Resurrection Chamber and the location of the buried Nephilim has recently been making the rounds online. Whether the request was granted or not is unclear. The Nephilim referred to in the request are likely the ancestors of mankind and fallen angels, as recounted in religious sources. The existence of the email hasn't been verified by reliable sources, and it's not clear if it's real or a hacker scam. The email requesting records about the Gilgamesh Resurrection Chamber and the location of the Nephilim is still present. As of right now on page 470, under reference number F2019021110 in the State Department's 2018 FOIA log. Before making any inferences, it's critical to consider the email's veracity and context. The website for State Department records lists Denitra D. Seeniger as the requester. However, there is no way to find out anything useful about this person because when this name is searched online, thousands of people come up. It's possible that someone else uses this as an alias. Gilgamesh may have been used as a code name for anything else in the email, according to some theory, which also suggests that it may be a cryptic discussion. It's unclear what the buried Nephilim would be alluding to, and it seems improbable that a message with such an attention-getting title would be used to conceal a code name. A group of angels who disobeyed God is thought to be the Nephilim, who are described in numerous ancient texts. Then they decided to settle on Earth with the daughters of humanity, which brought about the birth of giants. In Genesis, they are referred to as mighty men who were of old, men who became famous. Although opinions on the Nephilim's exact nature and history vary, most people agree that they are a powerful race of magical beings. They are viewed as harmful and evil in certain traditions, yet heroic and noble in others. Their actual existence has been a much debated topic for centuries. One of the wildest theories that has been put forth is that the government is attempting to raise fallen angels to fight God. This theory is not backed by any verifiable scientific or theological theory, or by any hard data. The idea goes on to claim that CERN's dark matter research is being carried out in an effort to hasten the beast's arousal. Of course, there is no solid evidence or source that backs up this claim. If anything is crystal obvious, it's that in 2003, we discovered that we were on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery that would forever alter our perception of human history. Since then, 20 years have passed, but it feels as though nothing ever occurred. However, this discovery continues to interest someone, somewhere. Gilgamesh and the Nephilim are obviously not where they were in 2003 if they wish to know the location of the Resurrection Chamber. A quick internet search would provide the necessary information. This is Gilgamesh's story up to this point, therefore we sincerely hope you are not unhappy that you did not learn more about him. His tomb and body were allegedly discovered in 2003. If you like what we do, please let us know by leaving a comment and subscribing to the channel.